The old recap here, we're going to take some pressure off that foot. We're going to put a little bit more there to start with, which then will straighten this up just a little bit. We don't want too much. We only want sort of 5 to 7 degrees there. That's a little bit more than that. Okay. So we'll start to get you using your feet just a little bit more effectively than what it is. And we start to, as we talked about just then, we get to that position there, your body hasn't really turned anymore, it's just your arms keep on travelling. But I'm actually more interested about how that pelvis sets up and how it can rotate a little bit more effectively. And we'll talk about, some of the weird and wonderful people that I get to be involved with, i.e. physiotherapists and biomechanists and all those guys. They're pretty interesting humans. They're way smarter than I'll ever be, but we get to use their information. So let's go back. Over here, we've got a fair amount of pressure and sitting back onto your heels.
Yep.
Okay. Where's the balance point in your body, do you think?
Down here somewhere.
So it's going to be balls, arches of your feet.
Yeah.
You think about, packing into a scrum, and if you're on your heels, you're going butt up very quickly.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about balls, arches of your feet. So if you're sitting down and that's really, really vertical there, you're going to have so much pressure on the heels of your feet that you're really not going to turn that lower half at all. Okay. So that means that we're going to restrict what we can do back there. That's why your arms travel further than what we want. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
So if my body can't turn, well then least point of resistance, as we talked about before, it then tries to go further with the arms. Okay. So we'll talk about just getting that, and we'll talk about the pressure going onto the balls, arches of your feet. After that, I really don't care. Yes, you already know that you're over the top. We already know that to the tune of a reasonable amount, but that's only because this isn't doing what we need it to do, this right hip. And your hips aren't really allowed to do that because of the address position. So we've got to fix the cause rather than all the other stuff. Yeah. So we know that then now you're going to try and get back down to the golf ball because you've actually just raised your head up there. And why have you raised your head? We come back to that stuff that we talked about before, because of that right hip and because of this back being there. You've raised your head up in the backswing because you've just got no rotation or lack of rotation in that right hip. So then the head goes up. Now what's the head got to do again?
Come down.
It's got to come down. When it comes down, it then projects the golf club out and your arm pattern out. So I've got to go down now, and that's when it starts that's when it moves out. So if we get that top of backswing a little bit better, then we can start to work on the initial move on the downswing. But I can't do that until I get the top of the backswing right. I can't get the top of the backswing better until I get address better. Okay, so we've got to work that through that way. And if I'm any good at what I do, we should see a difference straight away. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah. Any questions?
No, it's quite clear.
Yes, it's clear as mud, yes.
You said there, it's clear.
Yeah. And that's a good move. I like that. From this angle, it's a little different, isn't it? Well, you can see that shape. You can see it straight away. Yeah. But you can also see that there's something wrong straight away when you look at that and you look at an elite player that is clearly bent over a lot more. Okay? But I never want to compare you to an elite player because I'm not an elite player.
Well, let's say a good player.
Okay. So, let's talk about getting your body into a bit better position. Well, something that you can handle, number one, to start off with, and then a movement pattern that you can handle rather than this long thing that's going on at the moment.
Okay.
I really don't want it to go that far. We're going to hit some pitch shots and get you understanding that. We'll get you to start to see some different things in there, and clearly you already understand what's going on, but that number there will change quite dramatically as we keep going forwards. So that number there means if that is our target line, that number there minus is that way.
That's me, yeah.
And then positive is that way.
Okay.
Now, not that I ever want to get you to a positive, because there's just as bad of things that can happen from a positive. But if I can get that to sort of -2, you and I think, will be really, really happy.
Okay.
Okay.